Okay, we're back. This is Tanya and Christy and Chris and Kara, and this is the last real quick 10-minute episode we're going to do tonight. I first just wanted to kind of scan over some of these fun projects that have all been done with Imagine, with the exception of this spooky, which we thought we'd put in there just because we know you could do it with Imagine. Right, Christy? But look at this cute haunted house. This is from Enjoy the Seasons, as are those cute Christmas trees. That one is Imagine More.
Yeah, that
Imagine
Good Times
More.
with Imagine More, Best Friends.
Best Friends. And this one,
That's
is this a
Nursery
Nursery
Tales.
Tales?
That's Nursery
Yes.
Tales.
Okay. All right, so Christy is going to actually go through something that a lot of us have been having problems with, and that is using a classic Cricut cartridge and an Imagine cartridge together.
Okay, so what I've used is I have the Happy Hauntings because we are getting ready to celebrate Halloween at the end of the month. Ooh, spooky. So I have the Imagine More cartridge in. So you can use any of the Imagine cartridges because remember there's two types of Imagine cartridges. There's the Imagine Art, which is Imagine More is one of those, or we have the Imagine Patterns and Colors, and all they are color palettes with patterns and colors. So, but each of the art cartridges also come with a pattern palette as well as a color palette that coordinates with it. And then there are just some base colors that are automatically on your Imagine machine. So I've got the Imagine cartridge, or I'm sorry, the original Cricut cartridge on this side, the Imagine cartridge, and you can see my keypad overlay as it's kind of showing, we've got a little bit of a glare here.
There you go.
See that a little better? So I wanted to just show down here at the bottom, this is where you have your Imagine cartridge. Then this is what's loaded on the Imagine machine. And then this one over here is the Imagine cartridge. So you can actually toggle back and forth between the cartridges that you have plugged into your machine. So I'm going to go over here and we're just going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to show you how to select an image. So let's just select this ghost right here, and then you see it come up here in my image queue. So this is the shadow. So I'm actually going to go in and I want to use the pattern that's on Imagine More.
So you just toggled over to the...
Actually, all I go, let me just go back out, and you just select the image by selecting on, and then I'm going to select this little pencil, which takes me into the image editor. And I think this is one of the biggest questions we have is when people are putting their original cartridges in, they're having a hard time trying to find the color palette to add the pattern or the solid color. And to do that, you have to actually select the image and go into the image editor, which is that little pencil.
Okay.
So once you get into the editor, it will automatically default over to the Imagine More color palettes.
Cool.
So you can see right across here I have all these patterns that I can select from. So you saw that I actually filled the image with this pattern. If I didn't want to do that one and I wanted to select a different pattern, then I can do it, and you'll always see what that instant result is going to be, always on the left side of your screen. Then I can come down and I can actually select the size. And I want to just quickly talk about the size. This one that it defaults to is relative. And the other one over here on this side is the true size. So the difference is if you are creating layers, you want to make sure you're selected on relative true size. So what that will do is when you're creating your layers, it will proportionally cut each of your layers according to the size that you've selected. If you have true size selected over here on this side and I have 6 inches, then every one of my layers would cut exactly 6 inches. So they're not going to all layer on top of each other.
Okay.
So I think that that's one of the questions that we've had come in a lot, right, Chris?
So
Okay.
again, and what does it say right under the proportional? What are those?
It says REL, right?
Okay.
For relative.
Okay, relative. Okay.
Okay, so that's the one that you're going to want to, and that's the default. That's what it will go to unless you select the true size.
Okay.
All right, so then the next step is to select Apply, and then you'll see that up here in the image queue. Now I want to create the top layer or the next layer, so I'm going to Shift, and then I'm going to select that same image. And again, this is going back to the same way we use our Cricut cartridges. and I'm going to pull that up so I can go into the image editor. So that's this little pencil. And once I pull up the editor, then here's my next one. So then I can select another color that I want to fill that with.
Okay.
And go to next. And it's going to stay the size that I used on the last image unless I change it.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have these two images up in the queue, and all I'm going to do is go to next. I have my print preview, and I can actually go in to the image editor from here, and I can select that and change the size. Now that I've seen it on the mat and I want it to be larger or smaller, I would have the ability to do that, and I could change that down here. I'm just going to leave them at 6 inches, and I'm going to put my mat in, and it's going to take me back to my screen. I'm going to make sure that I have my pressure set the way I want it. I've got my speed. If you're going to do multi-cut, you would be able to select it right there. Go ahead and put your paper in, and we'll hit go, and it will go ahead and print and cut that for us. So while that's going, I was just going to quickly talk about the printable vinyl, because I think there was a lot of chatting about the vinyl, right? Mm-hmm. With the printable vinyl, it comes in 12 by 12 sheets, like you can see right here. And I cut it the same way I cut with my Cricut. My expression that I have, I set my blade at 3 and my pressure at 3, so it does a kiss cut. So it's not cutting all the way through the back piece, it's only cutting the top layer. So then I can take the outer part out and then apply it, just peel it and stick it wherever I need.
It's literally like a sticker.
It is.
Like you just printed a sticker.
Yeah.
Right?
This is great for throwing on as a label for a package. If you're making cookies and you want to put a little wrap around the cookies and take over and throw a little sticker on it, a jar of jelly, there's just so many things that this becomes very useful.
And it peels off, like you can peel it off and put it somewhere else. So I love the idea of maybe like cutting birds out with different patterns and putting them on the wall. That would be kind of cute.
Yeah, great. Great idea.
Just thinking out loud.
Okay, Chris, do you have anything else you want to add to this?
No, the main thing really was just making sure you select relative size. That's where when I have talked to people about this process, that was the issue that was always the solution to the problem that they were having. Selecting relative size.
Yeah. I think that's been the biggest question, and I know in talking with customer service, that's also been a question in being able to use the current original cartridges in the machine and not knowing how to access that color palette. So you just have to, again, make sure that you select your image, go into the image editor, and as soon as you go into the editor, it will automatically default to the color palette that is on the Imagine cartridge that you have in the machine.
Did you think of one other thing? And that is when you select your first image, I like to take the biggest image and have that be my default image, and then I select the size for that. And then I go in and I add all my other layers. So don't add all of your layers first and then go and select the size. Put your first layer in, set the size for it, and then add all of the other layers, and then it will work out right.
Okay.
There's a couple questions on here really fast. What is the cartridge yield at 5% coverage? What does that mean?
We know the numbers at 35% coverage, and you'll get about 150 pages. I don't know what it is at 5% coverage. I would imagine it'd be over 200, probably over 250 if you're just doing 5% coverage.
So the question was, just to repeat it, someone asked how many pages you could print at 5% coverage.
Yeah, which means you're using basically 5% of your 12 by 12 piece of paper.
Yep.
And then one more, is the printable vinyl water fast or light fast?
You will need to spray it in order to, there are sprays that you can spray onto it that'll make it water fast. It should be light fast though. Definitely should be light fast. The inks are archival. They've been tested by HP for decades really, and they have found that these are archival. They are low acid, not quite acid free, but almost completely acid free, and So yeah, they should last a long time. But definitely, if you're using the vinyl, you'll want to spray it with something if it's going to be in an area where it could potentially get wet.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. Okay, we're gonna come back
Okay,
over to
Tanya,
Christy.
so we just finished cutting our little ghost. Here's our shadow, or our base layer that Chris was talking about, and then just simply put the other one right on top. And again, this was something very simple because we wanted it very fast for you, but gives you at least the idea of how to use your original cartridges in creating your projects. Now, one more thing that you can actually go into the menu and go right to your settings.
And look, but I just want to point out, guys, Christy is actually using her nail as the stylus. So that is an option if you lose your stylus.
Or the back of a pen.
You
I
can
would not
use
use the ink side of a pen.
Don't use the ink side of a pen, but the back of a pen. Or you can have Christy come to your house and she will use her nails.
Oh, we could have so much fun, right? Okay, so I just wanted to show in the settings, right here where it's print and cut, we obviously were printing the ghost and then cutting, but we could also print or select print only or cut only. So if you only wanted to cut a project and not print it, then you would select cut only, but always make sure that whatever you change in this settings menu that you press apply so that those changes will actually apply, and then you'd be able to put your paper right in. It would still be inserted here in the top, and the machine would automatically pull it through and then bring it into the cutting part of the machine and actually do the cutting of the project.
Okay, awesome.
Very
All
fun
right.
stuff.
I know that some people were asking about where to find Enjoy the Seasons that did this awesome little house here and those Christmas trees. And Enjoy the Seasons is actually one of the cartridges that's part of the promotion, the upgrade promotion, where if you buy Imagine and, oh, there it is, thank you. You buy Imagine and donate your machine to a school, you would get Enjoy the Seasons and Industrial Glow, which Industrial Glow is a color and pattern, and this one has really cute, I can't get it close enough, well maybe I'll try. There you have it. There it is. Okay, we're going to sign off, but we're going to try and do these periodically just to address some of the questions that you guys have that we're seeing on Facebook or the message boards, and we're actually meeting with customer service too to make sure that we understand a lot of your questions. So I want to say thank you to Christy.
Thank you.
To Chris. To Kara. And then I'm the oddball with a name that does not start with a C. I'm Tanya. See ya.